Good morning, everyone. We'll get started in a couple of minutes if you'd like to come take a seat, or if we have any left. I think I see a couple in here. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Cecilia Orozco, and I'm the Assistant Director of Communications for the city. So I will say, I think I planned my attire not according to the weather, so it's a little chilly. I've got my jacket, but hopefully everyone's staying warm in the sun. You guys in the shade, I'm so sorry. So we are here gathered to celebrate the official opening and plaque unveiling of what we believe will become an iconic monument on our shoreline. But before we begin, please join me in welcoming the Corpus Christi Veterans Band for the presentation of colors, the Pledge of Allegiance, and National Anthem.
To the flag of the United States of America one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Veterans Band of Corpus Christi. And now it is my honor to introduce Mayor Paulette Guajardo.
Okay. Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you all for joining us. This is such a special and a historic day for the city of Corpus Christi, for this entire community, for the entire region. So it's a proud day for Corpus Christi as we come together to honor service, sacrifice, and our enduring commitment to those who have worn the uniform. Our community has always had its veterans in the highest regard, and it's our responsibility to ensure that their service is remembered, respected, and honored. So this Bell Helicopter Monument stands as a powerful symbol of that service. It reflects not only our military aviation history, but also Corpus Christi's deep, long-standing relationship with the Corpus Christi Army Depot and the Naval Air Station. So here at Sherrill Veterans Memorial Park, the helicopter sits atop a 15-foot pedestal, surrounded by the thoughtful landscaping and pathways. Colored concrete pavers and specially built walls featuring the park's name will illuminate the helicopter at night, making it a lasting tribute. So the Huey helicopter has become an enduring symbol of the Vietnam era. It played a critical role in cargo transport, search and rescue, and even ground attack missions, used by the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, and the Marine Corps. It's among the most prolific helicopters produced by Bell. This monument is also especially and very, very personal to me. My father worked on these helicopters as an aircraft mechanic at CCAD. So seeing this aircraft is very, very meaningful, and it's a reminder of all the men and women, both in uniform, and outside in supporting roles, who dedicate their lives for our nation's defense. So this project, it exists because of strong partnerships and a shared vision. So I want to sincerely thank everyone who helped bring this to life. I would especially like to recognize Nueces County Commissioner Mike Pusley, who first championed this effort during his time on City Council, as well as Judge Connie Scott and her husband Mike Scott for their leadership and commitment to this project as well. If it were not for the three of you, we wouldn't be here celebrating today and unveiling this amazing structure. And to our partners at Bell Helicopter, thank you for entrusting us with this remarkable aircraft. We're honored to display it here as a tribute to Army veterans and all who support our nation's defense. Our city parks have always been places of recreation, places of connection, and natural beauty. So with the addition of this monument, Sherrill Veterans Memorial Park now also becomes a place of reflection, of remembrance, and honor. So finally, I would like to thank the residents of Corpus Christi, because your continued support for projects such as this make today possible. This is what investing in our community looks like. So thank you to the residents of this city for supporting this project. So now it is my pleasure to ask Mr. Albert Martinez. He is the representative for Congressman Vicente Gonzalez, District 34, to come up and present a proclamation. Yes, sir.
Thank you, As I look at the Huey back there, I just kept looking for the 50 cal. That's Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to be here, Mayor and City Commissioner, the City Council and Judge and the Commissioners, and especially the veterans who are here. I'm so also very happy to see two of our very important people, two VSO officers from Nueces County, Mr. J.J. de la Cerda and Orlando Rosa from Kingsville is here. Dear Mayor, congratulations on the dedication ceremony for a new helicopter monument here at Sherrill Veterans Memorial Park. As a proud son of a Korean War veteran, I commend the work the city is doing to remember veterans and sacrifice so much for their country. Let this monument be one of many ways that we show our appreciation to veterans, whether we salute them or we work hard to ensure that they get the benefits they deserve. It comes down to all of us to do our part here at home. Congratulations again on this ceremony. Should you ever need anything, please, for assistance, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. Congressman Vicente Gonzalez, Member of Congress. Yes.
Now, the next person I would like to introduce is Senator Adam Hinojosa with District 27 to share a few remarks.
Good morning, and thank you all for being here. Today's one of those moments where, that reminds us that places like this matter here in our great city. We're gathered not just to dedicate a monument, but to take a moment to reflect and say thank you to the men and women who stepped up, to step forward for our country when our country needed them. I'm going to thank the city of Corpus Christi, the organizers, and everyone who helped make this happen. Projects like this don't just come together on their own. They happen because people care deeply, and honoring service and preserving memory matters. This helicopter behind me tells a powerful story. It represents missions flown into uncertainty. It represents crews who trusted each other with their lives. It represents service members who lifted the wounded, moved supplies, and answered calls for help without hesitation. And it represents the families back home who carried their own burden while their loved ones were away. This isn't just a display. It's a reminder that freedom isn't free, a reminder that courage often looks like showing up again and again. A reminder that courage often looks like showing up again and again, even when the cost is high. A reminder that people we call veterans are our neighbors, our friends, and our family. Sherrill Veterans Memorial Park is already a place for reflection, and this monument strengthens that purpose. Years from now, kids will stand right here and ask questions. Veterans will stand here and remember, and our families will stand here with pride and gratitude, and all that matters. To our veterans who are here with us today, thank you for your service and your sacrifice. To the families who supported that service, we honor you as well. And to those we've lost, we make this promise: you will not be forgotten. As your state senator, I'm proud to represent a community that takes honoring our veterans seriously. I'm proud of Corpus Christi. I'm proud of Nueces County. I'm proud of our coastal bend. And I'm proud of the men and women this monument represents. I'm going to thank you all for allowing me to be here. Thank you in particular, Commissioner Mike Pusley, Mike Scott, Judge Scott. Thank you for working so diligently to make this happen. God bless our veterans, their families, and the United States of America. May God forever bless our great state of Texas. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator, for those amazing words. Now, I do want to continue on the run of show, but before we do, there's so many incredible people that are here with us today, so I would like Mayor to have the opportunity to welcome everyone who is in attendance.
Yes. So we skipped this part, and I'm sorry. We're trying to make it smooth, but it was on a different page, so I'm sorry. I want to make sure, as she just mentioned, it's very important that we all recognize who's here. So if you'll please stand as I call your name. Today we have elected officials with us who all in part made this happen. Albert Martinez, representing Congressman Vicente Ortiz's office. Vicente Gonzalez, pardon me. Senator Adam Hinojosa, District 27, that we just heard from. Thank you for being here. Christy Romero's, representing our state representative, Todd Hunter. And we have our council members, Gil Hernandez, District 5. We have Mr. Everett Roy, District 1. Miss Carolyn Vaughn, at large, she's over here. And Councilman Roland Barrera, at large councilman. And of course, we have our Nueces County Judge, Connie Scott. We have Nueces County Commissioners, Mike Pusley, John Mates, where is he? Over here. Mr. Brent Chesney. And our Nueces County Sheriff, Chris Hooper. And today, representing our city manager, we have Mr. Michael Dice. Where, my God, our men in blue in the back, Chief Mike Markle. Our wonderful police chief. Thank you, sir, for being here, and thank you all for being here. Okay, you coming back up?
Excuse us as we play musical chairs for a moment there. But I would like to introduce Michael Dice, interim assistant city manager, and he is here representing Peter Zanoni, who unfortunately is unable to make it. He's actually back in the office working on some desalination projects and water security for our community. So Michael Dice.
Thank you all, and for everybody in shade. I'll try to be as quick as possible. Today is a proud day for the city of Corpus Christi as we come together to honor service, sacrifice, and our enduring commitment to those who have served and worn the uniform. Our community has always held its veterans in high regard. It's our responsibility to ensure their service is remembered, respected, and honored. This Bell Helicopter Monument stands as a powerful symbol of that service. It reflects not only our military aviation history, but also Corpus Christi's deep, long-standing relationship with the Army Depot and Corpus Christi Air Station, Corpus Christi. Here at Sherrill Veterans Memorial Park, this helicopter sits atop a 15-foot pedestal, surrounded by thoughtful landscaping and pathways, colored concrete pavers, and specially built walls, which will light the helicopter at night, making it a lasting tribute. As stated, the Huey helicopter has become an enduring symbol of the Vietnam era, played a critical role in cargo transport, search and rescue, and ground attack. On a personal note, I have to give a quick shout out to my father-in-law. Happy wife, happy life. He flew Hueys in Vietnam from October of 1967 through October of 68 for the first Air Cav. Captain Donnie Graham is watching on YouTube as we speak from Plainview, Texas, and is probably looking through his flight logs right now for that tail number. So shout out to my father-in-law. Again, this monument is also deeply personal based on that. We've got to give a quick shout out to the team that's project delivery teams, Turner Ramirez Architects, the Marshall Company, and the city's engineering and construction management team. Also the team of Parks and Rec, thanks for the great job in managing this. So again, today we mark the dedication of the new monument here. And like stated before, you've probably seen the Huey while watching a movie or TV, or traveling and saw it at another monument in another state. So again, we thank the voters that approved the project. The master plan is available through the city's website, which talks about the city's monuments, memorials, and recognizing all the veterans from all branches of our military. Additional improvements to the central gathering point of the park should be a shade structure, an amphitheater-like seating to accommodate events such as this, and the Veterans Band. Shout out to the Veterans Band in the back. From Cal Island to the island, the city has remained committed to the parks system. There are plans throughout the city to enhance the outdoor spaces and to add the quality of life for all residents. And again, we celebrated the grand opening of Bill Witt Aquatic Center recently and the installation of 9 new playgrounds, most with shade structures. So if you visited the plaza by the pier at Cole Park, you've also noticed that it's a bit cooler, especially today, with the addition of a new shade structure. Again, this is proof that our Parks and Recreation Department is committed to creating a vibrant park system for the city of Corpus. So again, thank you all for joining us today and giving me my personal shout out for my father-in-law, and let me introduce Councilman Everett Roy.
Well, good morning. First of all, I would like to say hello to my brother and sisters in arms, and anybody that is in the 82nd Airborne. Of course, I must say, airborne. When I pass this monument, it brings several emotions, and I must take a moment and share those emotions with you. My first job that I had in the military, I was a combat medic, and I flew medevac. And so there's a lot of memories that I have in terms of spending time around this chopper. But one of the fondest memories I have, and I have to share this, and my wife's not with me right now, but she was active duty military also. And when we were in Desert Storm, she was the rear company commander, and I was forward in Iraq, and I spent probably about 8 or 9 months in Iraq. And so the first time I had a chance to see her, she was basically flew in, and I was trying to basically give the hint to her that I wanted to marry her. So she was the rear company commander, and she was also in charge of logistics, and so we needed some updated supplies. So on the back of my request, I tried to kind of hint that I wanted to drop the question to marry her because I didn't want to just do it cold turkey. Anyway, long story short, she took the supply list, she read that, didn't understand what I was babbling about on the back, and I ended up, once she landed, I proposed to her on a park bench. But anyway, a lot of memories. But I want to say good morning, everyone. I thank my fellow veterans. I know that veterans who continue to serve the community long after the active service is ended, whether it's through volunteer work, mentorship, or advocacy for their veteran colleagues. This unwavering commitment to service is more than worthy of recognition and gratitude. As I stand and look at this powerful monument, I can't help but think of the courage and dedication of all my military veterans. This dynamic pose of this Huey represents that courage and reminds us of the intense, challenging missions flowing during various conflicts. I've often said that District 1 is a home of the most beautiful parks in Corpus Christi, but now I am overjoyed and humbled that I say that District 1 is home to this iconic Huey monument. I also want to take a moment and thank Mike and Mike for making this possible. This monument not only adds to the beauty of Shoreline Boulevard, but it also offers our young people an opportunity to learn about the bravery of those who flew those legendary machines. Corpus Christi has always had a strong connection with the military, so it only makes sense for our residents and visitors to have the opportunity to learn about the impact this helicopter had on aviation and military operations. With today's dedication of this monument, we honor this city's connection to our military, and it reinforces our appreciation for the sacrifices made by our military members and their families. I look forward to the many opportunities that our residents will have to gather here and reflect on our shared history and values. These gatherings will reinforce our appreciation for our active military members and veterans who we owe so much for. The impact of this helicopter monument will have on our city goes beyond landscaping. This will serve as a poignant tribute to the military veterans and those being trained today at the Navy Air Station, Corpus Christi, and the Corpus Christi Army Depot. I want to thank you all for being here today to join us in this dedication ceremony. And again, I want to thank all of our veterans and military personnel for their sacrifices and dedication. Thank you, and airborne.
Now, before I do introduce the next person, I do want to give a shout out to our District 2 Councilwoman who I did see arrive, Sylvia Campos. So please give her a welcome. Thank you for being here. Now, it is my pleasure to bring up Mike Plessley, our County Commissioner from Precinct 1.
Well, thank you all very, very much for being here. And I asked Judge Scott and Mike to join me here and my beautiful wife, Norma. This is a very personal day for all of us. As you all probably know, Mike is a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. Yeah, and he served 2 tours in Vietnam. And I asked him one time, why in the heck would you ever sign up to do the second one? And he said the pay was just too good to turn down. So, but anyway, you know, with a project like this, there's always a lot of people to thank. And I want to start out by thanking Judge Connie Scott and Mike for their help and support in this project, both in spirit and financially. Without their help, this project would never have happened. I want to thank Bell Helicopter for their support for this project. Unfortunately, their representatives could not be here today, but we're going to make sure they get plenty of pictures and a nice note from everyone. I want to also thank the City Council, the Mayor, both past and present, for their strong support of this project. And I also want to give special thanks to City Manager Peter Zanoni. He has been an absolutely strong supporter of what we were trying to do here, not only with the helicopter monument, but with the complete redesign of Sherrill Veterans Park. I also want to thank H&S Constructors, Mike Scott and Pat Horn, for their work. Mike and I flew to Dothan, Alabama to pick this helicopter out, and I promise you it didn't look like this when we picked it out. And Mike sent a truck after we got back home to Dothan, Alabama to pick it up and bring it back here so we could start the restoration process. I want to thank the Port of Corpus Christi for their support, Del Mar College, who allowed us to station the helicopter there as we began the restoration process. Mike's daughter, Elaine Yance. You know, when we started this process, Mike and I were having a discussion about doing this, and he said, well, would you like a helicopter? And I said, sure. And he said, well, I'll call my daughter. She works for Bell Helicopter. Maybe she can help us out. And she did. I want to thank Peter Kendrick, who did a lot of work on the restoration for us. John Galvan from Galvan's Paint and Body Shop. If you need your car painted, he made this look really, really nice, and he can do great work. And we want to thank John for all the work. Is John here today? I haven't seen him. Anyway, I want to thank Steve Parks from Gulf Coast Graphics. They did all the decals. And I want to give a special thanks to Philip Ramirez and Turner Ramirez Architects for their work with the veterans community to come up with not only the design for the helicopter display, but the redesign of the entire park. I want to thank the Marshall Construction Company for the fine work that they did to make this such a great park. And then the veterans community for helping with the design of this. You know, Philip and his architectural firm got together with the veterans community and got their ideals and their input on not only this monument, but what's going to happen with the rest of the park as we go forward. I also want to thank Joey Johnson, with the city construction manager, and his staff for their efforts in making sure everything here turned out as planned. And last, but certainly not least, I want to thank Robert Dodd and the entire Corpus Christi Parks Department for their support and help with this project. You know, unfortunately in America, it seems every generation has a war. My dad's generation, it was the Korean War, and for my generation, it was the Vietnam War. And although this helicopter is dedicated to all that served, I think about what it means for my generation. There are over 20,000 Vietnam veterans living here in Nueces County. Approximately 220 service members from our 12-county coastal bend area are honored as fallen heroes from the Vietnam War. Of those 220, 99 of them were from Corpus Christi, and 32 of them graduated from my alma mater, my wife's alma mater, Roy Miller High School. I think about all the young men who went off to war and never returned. They had every right to be considered men, and now I look back and the reality is most of them were just kids. The young man's name on this helicopter that you see above the door, Lieutenant Douglas James Cavan, is my wife's brother. And Douglas went to Vietnam and lost his life there in a helicopter just like this one. He was a pilot. Douglas grew up here in Corpus Christi, went to school here, graduated from Roy Miller High School, and he always wanted to be a helicopter pilot, so he joined the Army, went to Officers Candidate School, became a first lieutenant, and then they sent him to flight school, and he learned how to fly helicopters. And so he went off, and within just a few months, Douglas lost his life, and he was 26 years old. So this helicopter is for all those who served, so we never forget their sacrifice and the sacrifice of their families. Now Sherrill Park has an identity, and all who pass here will hopefully understand and appreciate its significance. I want to issue one challenge to this city council and the future city councils. We have a great design for this park as we go forward, and it's our responsibility as a community and as a city to make sure that that design gets built to honor the veterans here in our community. As I said, there's over 20,000 Vietnam veterans who live right here in Nueces County. So thank you to all our veterans, and God bless our country, and God bless the great state of Texas. Thank you all very much. Now I want to introduce my friend Mike Scott.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm duly honored to be part of this. My wife has to finish my speech. I get choked up. I'm like Commissioner Bussey.
He had a great speech written, let me tell you, but most everyone has already talked about it. This is a monumental day for Nueces County, for the city of Corpus Christi. While we have thanked so many of us, we're standing here. It was a vision. It was something we wanted to do. My husband's service as a Marine in Vietnam for 2 years was important to him, just as all of our veterans here and wherever you served. We are so incredibly thankful to each and every one of our veterans who served and have served or are currently serving in our military. One of the things I would like to say that I don't think they've gotten enough credit is all of this visions and stuff, it takes a long time for government to approve these processes. As the mayor stated earlier, Commissioner Pusley was a city council member at the time, but none of this would go through without our city council voting to approve these projects with funding for our parks and everything. So a huge shout out and a huge thank you. We very much appreciate your concern, your priorities for our veterans here, everything. Sherrill Park, we are proud to be here. I was here when they delivered the helicopter, when they unloaded it off of my son-in-law's company trailer, Sharkey Construction, but I could have never envisioned how wonderful and how beautiful this looks. So thank you all for being here. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. My husband, as a veteran, was honored to be a small part of this. Thank you so much.
So before we do conclude this event, I do want to say we had some incredible remarks today, and we want to give thanks to all of our veterans and their families for serving our nation. Now, I do want to pass your attention to unveiling of a plaque that we will be doing to your right. There's a sheet currently over it, so we're going to do some shifting over, but if I can invite Mayor and all of our speakers to come to the plaque for the official unveiling. We'll take a moment for a photo, and then after that, I'll count to 3 and we'll do the unveiling. Three, two, hold on. Got it. 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much again for joining us today on this beautiful morning. Please feel free to stick around. Our Parks and Recreation Department do have some beverages to your left, some water refreshments this morning, and feel free to take some photos. Thank you again.